That tells you that sends out the etherics in bursts. In other words, when this transmitter runs, the CW part of it, when the oscillator is on, it doesn't have much etheric. But at the point where the oscillator shuts off, it sends out a huge burst of etheric signal. That's your tangent function. I just had to think for a minute of what it would be to answer your question.
I have a totally different question. Who was in charge of this project, of the doorbusters? What department of the government?
This was under United University's Brookhaven National Lab. It was eventually turned over to the Signal Corps. Because most of these things were U.S. Army signal.
It's been through the Montauk program 5 miles away. Their aura is very distinctive in the way that they have been altered. You can tell them immediately if you know what you're looking for. And I've spotted many. I would say over a dozen. Mostly in the Long Island, New York area.
Wasn't, when Newman was officially dead, right?
Well, correct. Officially he was dead, but he was very much alive throughout this entire program, all the way through '83 and for quite some time after that, up into this year, through this year.
Oh, he passed away?
I don't know exactly the whole story of what's happened to von Neumann since, because he ran into a problem with the government, and he ran into two problems. One, he suffered a personality split himself about 1977. Whether it's because of some of the experiments he was on or the strain, we don't know. But he resigned as director. He said he was no longer fit. The government wouldn't leave him alone. They wouldn't let him leave. They said you will remain as a consultant, which was agreeable to him, to the balance of the program. Because there were other reasons why he had to be there, which goes back into the whole Philadelphia experiment. But he remained on as a consultant. At the end, he told them, he says, when this program is over, he says, I'm not going to work for the government again ever, no matter what you say. He says, I'm through with you. He says, I want no further part of any of your government operations. And he retired to his little farm and led a relatively peaceful life for a period of time until he was harassed again in the last year and a half. But that's not part of the Montauk thing.
Right. Was he living under another name then?
Living under a pseudonym.
When did he officially die?
1957.
57.
That's the official death date.
What happened to the other scientists? Pruitt and was it Engelman?
Pruitt was there until '83.
Yeah.
And then he went and worked in different corporations and disappeared.
Engelman was seen to turn up. You ran into him.
Yeah, a couple of times, that was it.
Yeah, and then he just...
Other than ran for the hills, I think.
Most of them did. They ran for the hills.
Well, let's continue on the description of the Phoenix project.
I just have one more question about the Montauk. Were any of the subjects given psychotropic substances? LSD?
I don't know.
We don't believe so.
My gut feeling is no.
In conjunction with the
I don't believe they were.
No, they used other drugs. They had one drug that would be used in connection with the right programming, so it would make them more receptive.
This is not. Do you know the name of the drug, the chemical name, or a generic name?
No, I don't.
I have no knowledge of
Can
that
you
at all.
describe any of the effects of that alone, or in conjunction with the...
Okay, the effects would make you horny as hell.
Uh-huh.
That's essentially what it would do. It would make you very sexually active.
Also euphoric at the same time.
Yeah.
And euphoric?
Well, that would go along with it.
Right.
Yeah.
What was the purpose of being euphoric?
All right. Essentially, I don't...
Or they get the chair from the aliens?
But we're not sure whether they got the chair itself from the aliens, but
Did they
the
get the prototype
technology
from
base
the aliens?
came, yes. The prototype came from the aliens.
Well, maybe they were working with crashed
Maybe.
exchange of sorts.
We don't know.
Also, I had another question on what you were describing before. Could this experience that is becoming very common of the UFO abduction could have been programmed by the government under this mind control?
Sure, it could be. Not all of it is, but some of it probably is.
Some of it.
Right. But they got this chair from the aliens, or through some connection. Another associate of ours was on the station managing money, and he actually went out and bought this chair from somebody. He hasn't been able to dig out yet who. So what they essentially did is they took this chair, they made one computer to interface the chair itself to stay in the digital codes, and then another computer to interface it to a special computer to the transmitter, and then the transmitter. What they actually ended up with, in essence, was a mind amplifier. Duncan here, his major responsibility on the station, he was one of the selected individuals. He had been through a lot of psychic training by the government to sit in that chair and generate thought forms. The idea they had is, okay, they can transmit the signature digitally, that worked very well. They could put the person in the orgasmic state digitally, that worked very well. But they wanted a human being to generate the actual thought form, the details of what they wanted done.
From the chair?
From the chair, yeah. In other words, they would put into Duncan's mind, when he's in a trance, what they want him to think of, what they want him to think of that he's doing. The chair would pick it up. After the data was sent that would turn on the target individual, his thoughts were channeled directly through the transmitter to the individual. It worked, but it didn't work. It worked very well, extremely well. But they found another capability. Let's say they would target Phil at Tuesday, 4 a.m. when he was asleep. And they actually discovered that Phil was actually hit 2 weeks later. What did they discover? They did not lock the time in of the person. What did they get? They got a time machine. Next bright idea they got was, okay, let's tell Duncan to think of a vortex connecting 1981 to 1947. He would do this. What happened? They got a vortex going from 1981 to 1947. You can walk through. Great. Now,
Duncan had to be, you had to be really good to be able to visualize. And
Duncan's very good at
you have to
visualizing.
be really imaginative, I would think.
So let's not go into that at this point.
Yeah. Well, you're talking about it at this point. That's why I bring it up.
Semester is a word in the dictionary.
The word I use. If you want.
Well, we're talking of earlier capabilities, not today. He was also raked over as well. But, you know, what they discovered is, okay, for real time, he thought of it. What they discovered is they recorded it, put the tape on the computer, did the same thing again. So now, they had a tape that would open the vortex. And they started going back in time, they started going ahead in time, they actually got the time machine. That's the last phase of the Phoenix project, was the time machine. Of
And
course,
they could control that time factor to where they wanted to
Yep.
go.
whatever he thought of, or other people like him. He wasn't the only one. They had to have at least 5 backups.
So that's still phase 2.
That was phase 3.
Phase 2.
Yeah, was the time machine.
Now, that time machine, what do you know the date?
That got going about 79 to 80. They got that operational. Of course,
Fully operational?
yeah, about
And they
79
can
to 80.
transmit both matter and
Thought
signals.
Yeah, right. They had this, you could walk through the vortex. You could walk in 1981 and come out in 47.
Who, Cameron would, or the one?
Anyone.
Can you explain
I
again?
don't, how this was this developed?
What was the mechanism behind it?
First of all, this transmitter was so freaking powerful. This transmitter had enough power to warp space and time, go through Bearden's equations. There's more than enough power to do it. He had the capability of thinking of the vortex function that they couldn't synthesize. They didn't know how to synthesize that vortex function, but he knew. Innately, inherently, he knew how to do it.
Can it be mechanically synthesized right now?
I'm sure they got the tapes.